Hey everyone, it's Tyler of VHC Sabers. Today I'm going to show you how to install the V1 and V2 control box. Let's get started. Okay, so let's go over what we've got here. We've got a V1 and a V2 AusVire control box. We've got the little clamp card, and then we've got a little baggie with all of our screws and wrenches in it, as well as the adjustable plunger button. This will come in handy here in a minute. So with the V1, it was super easy to install on these traditional switch styles that have the 4 holes. The top and bottom holes are threaded for M3, so you would just take these little pan head screws like this, set them over that, screw those in, boom, your box is attached. But on the newer style of Type C switches, they don't have those holes. So here at AusSabers came up with something different. He has this sleeved control box, so that just slides over like that. And there's a couple of different ways that we can attach this. So the first way is you can take these little M4 grub screws, and now these holes here are threaded on the V2 box. So you can put them in like that, you can slide your box over, get the recharge port centered up to that, and go ahead and tighten those down. Now I don't like doing this method because it's going to put little indents here and here on your saber. So I'll show you what I like to do instead. So if you look on the back, you've got 2 screws here. This is a long M4 screw that pushes up your buttons. This one here is just like a self-tapping plastic screw. And you don't actually need this one. You can take this out. This just anchors the chassis to your saber. But honestly, this screw here does just as good of a job. But now that this is taken out, it's actually threaded for M4. So you can slide this in, and then we send this little M4 pan head along with it. You can put that in here like this. Now unfortunately we don't send the correct size Allen wrench for this. This is a 2.5 millimeter. So now that's all it is, and it's secure. Next thing we're going to want to do is install the plunger button. So what's cool about the plunger button is it's actually adjustable. So when you push down on it with the card from the top, it's going to activate the plunger, push down, and in theory it should reach this little button underneath. However, oftentimes it does not. So if you take the smaller wrench, which we do include, you'll have this tiny little M3 grub screw right here that'll go inside this, and the more you screw it in, you'll start to see it poking out from the bottom side. So the farther down you have it, the closer to this button it's going to be, which will allow it to reach and push your button. So to put this plunger in, we're going to line it up and just real carefully try to screw it in here. Once you get started, it's not so bad. You can even push down on the middle piece and use your fingernail to kind of help you in these grooves. And then sometimes I'll even take my wrench and just kind of push along the grooves like that. Get that seated. So now, when you put your clamp card in, the idea is that it will push down on this button, right? However, it's not making contact currently. So we're going to go in there with our little wrench and adjust that set screw that we put in earlier. And we just want to carefully twist it down until it makes contact with the button. See if it works. And it does. If it doesn't work, you might need to tighten it up just a little bit more, just like maybe a quarter turn to see if that works. Sometimes it might be too much and it's stuck pushing the button down, so you want to back it off a little bit. But once you get it set, it should push the button. Just like so. So the next thing we got to do is secure the clamp card, because right now it's just kind of floppy in there. I've seen a couple different ways to do this. Some people like to put like a piece of tape on the bottom side or even on the sides here. What I like to do is the hot glue method, and I'll show you how I do that now. Okay, so your plunger button's here, which already has a spring on it. So what I like to do is put 2 dabs of glue here and here so that it's kind of like a counterpoint. Makes it a little teeter-totter, so when you push down, it'll push it back up with the spring. You just want little tiny 2 dabs of glue here and here, and I kind of flatten them out. If they're too tall, your clamp card won't go in, and if they're not tall enough, it won't hold. So you might have to experiment with it. The nice thing about using hot glue is that it peels off really easy with your fingernail, but once it's actually installed, it's not going to come out unless you want it to. So I'm just giving it a couple seconds here to cool down. Should be nice and rubbery now that it's cooled down a little bit. And push it in, and now that's not coming out. And there you go, it's working. So that's all there is to it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and we'll see you out there.